Good evening, everybody, and hello from the beautiful Goucher College campus. My name is Brian Coker. I am the Vice President and Dean of Students for the college. Happy to have many of you with us tonight. And I've got some true experts here, two of our incredible student leaders on campus, and I'll ask them if they would to briefly introduce themselves, and then we'll all be talking a bit more shortly.
Hi everyone, my name is Deja Ellis. I'm going into my senior year here at Goucher College. I'm an education policy major and I'm also a first year mentor and I'm one of the chairs of the first year mentor program. And I'm happy to be here with you guys tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Michaela Hinnett, a junior Peace Studies major from Waldorf, Maryland, who uses she, her pronouns. I'm also a co-chair at Goucher College, and welcome.
All right, thank you both. Again, welcome. So glad all of you could join us. As Vice President and Dean of Students for the college, I play a role in really students' overall experiences here. A lot of those being the experiences that are outside the classroom, ranging from housing to activities to athletics on campus. And as I often tell students, I'm really their dean. I have been here for 6 years, which will be coming up on my seventh year. And this year's an interesting one for me. I'm not only the Dean of Students here to help all of your students adjust, I'm also going through this process right there with you as well. My first of four children, she is headed off to college. Same time that all of you will be arriving here. And so, parents, I will miss most of you during the orientation process, but I will be here Sunday night for your students getting back into town. So I know that it's an interesting time at home for your families right now as you're getting ready to make this big transition. And hopefully tonight, some of the information we give can be helpful to you as you navigate this process. Next, I believe Deja's going to tell us a little bit about just student orientation in general in the program.
Yes, thank you. The orientation, the timeline of it, it may seem intense, but it's really not. So when you first come to campus, you'll register, and then you'll go on and you'll move in and get settled in a little bit. The first day, you'll get in your groups, you'll meet your first year mentor, you'll meet your cohort, you'll learn some of the basic stuff about campus, like some of the rules of living on campus, and also if you're living off campus, just a brief overview of what the next few days will look like, as well as that first day will end around 5:30 ish. So at that time, we invite families to start transitioning back home or into the hotel where you may be sleeping for that night. Trust us, your students will be safe here. And then the rest of the week just looks like you'll be in your groups. You'll get to know each other more. You'll get to know more about the campus, your courses. You'll meet advisors and different people who are going to help you throughout this journey here at Goucher and help you transition before you start your first day of classes on the 22nd. Anything else I missed, Michaela?
No, I think that was a good summary.
All right, thank you both. Okay, so I think now we're going to start to get into some of our questions. The first one, I'm seeing that, I'll see if Deja or Kayla want to take us stab at this one, is are there any parameters for the summer reading questions? Not sure about maybe how much students should be writing on that. Any thoughts on the summer reading questions?
Oh, it's probably best to follow the prompt and write paragraph format instead of bullet points, and just make sure you guys answer the questions. And be ready to engage in conversation when you arrive on campus.
I agree. It doesn't have to be like an essay or like a well-written paper. We just want you to really express yourself and your ideas through those paragraphs to make sure you're understanding what you're reading in a clear and concise way for those conversations that you're going to have.
Okay, great. Thank you both. We received one question about what is this year's first year enrollment. We believe we're going to end up right at about 400 students in this first year's class. As far as proportion with gender, we are tracking where we have been, very close to where we have been. In recent years, like most liberal arts colleges, more women than men. How does our enrollment compare to first year enrollment in prior years? In recent years, if I look over the span of my time, 6 years at Goucher, we have been flat or up some most years. This year, our enrollment hitting around 400 will be down just a little. It's not down substantially though, and I think you're going to find that it's pretty typical with all small private liberal arts colleges. Right now, I will add that we have a new individual working on our enrollment management efforts now, who's bringing some great new ideas and energy to the process. And so I believe things are looking very good for Goucher. All right. Let's see. A question about students who applied for accommodations through the Office of Accessibility Services. Just what the process is. We have an individual, it's Arnell Hanley,
Yes.
right, who coordinates that process. Their office, again, it's Accessibility Services, has a great web page. I would encourage you to take a look at that web page. You can get in touch with Arnell through that page, reach out to her and check on the status, and I know she'll be glad to assist. Question about our students take classes through the Baltimore College Town Network at other colleges, and questions about MICA, if students can take classes at MICA, which is the Maryland Institute College of Art. How common is it for students to take any classes there, and during what years do they typically do so if they want to take these extra art classes? Any y'all want to take a swing at that one?
Sure. So it's very highly likely that you'll have the opportunity to take a class at a college or university other than Goucher. Not during your first semester and typically not during your first year here, but after that you would definitely have opportunities to seek out taking classes at other colleges or universities. I would encourage you to speak with your professors and your advisors about those type of opportunities. A lot of the times, those do come into play with languages. Since we don't have that many languages here at Goucher, a lot of students seek elsewhere to take languages, but there's definitely opportunities to explore other areas at other colleges and universities. Just always stay in communication with your professors and your advisors about those things, and they'll definitely help you out. Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. Question, what roles do the resident advisors, and for folks who may not be familiar, we call them RAs. Those are individuals who are upper division students, sophomores, juniors, and seniors who live on the floors within our residence halls, and really a question about what their roles are. And I think again, y'all can probably best answer that question. How do you see the RA role?
RAs are basically on each floor for first year halls to be there for safety reasons and support for students. They also host different activities on the floors for first years. So they might do a movie night or a game night, but they're basically there for support of the students.
And they're on call 24/7. So if you ever need them, we also have first year mentor in residence. So at Goucher, we have like the RAs and first year mentors. So you have double support in your hall, because we want to make sure that when you guys come to college, you have all the support that you can handle, or that even more. So you have both of those on your hall. So if one isn't available, we encourage you to seek out the other. But the RAs are definitely there. If you need anything, if there's any problems, anything goes wrong, always seek out your RA, and you'll meet them the night that you move in to your into your rooms. You'll have a hall meeting, and you'll meet people in your hall and your RA and the first year mentor and residents, and it'll be a good time.
And for parents to know, we also have a number of even our full-time staff members who work in residential life, the student housing area, who live on campus as well. So we have multiple layers of coverage and support available for your students. Another question about activities that RAs may put on in the halls. I mean, there's a wide range of programs that happen. Some are social, some are more educational. Any other thoughts on that?
I know around like midterms or around finals, they may put on like a study hall, or they may just like order food or be like, let's make cookies to relax, because around time of testing and everything, you can get very stressed. So they're definitely there for that support. Or we have like hall meetings at times, if something is going on, or just to update us about stuff that we need to know, or information that we may not have gotten from any other source. So they're a really good resource.
Absolutely. Question about campus jobs. What are some fun jobs for students to get on campus?
You can become a first year mentor. That's
Like
the
it.
best job. But seriously, there's so many jobs here on campus. We wouldn't be able to name them all. But when you come to campus, there will be a job fair, and during the job fair, you'll be able to explore a lot of the jobs, as well as our with our hub, which is an office combined of a lot of things. But one of those things are the CEO, Career Educational Office. Yes, thank you. I was blanking. And there you can go on Goucher Recruit. And on Goucher Recruit, you'll use the same email and password that you use to log into your freshman portal, and you can create your account there, and you'll upload your resume. They may send it back and say, hey, update this or do this. But it's a great resource, and through there you'll see all the jobs listed that are on campus and even off campus. And throughout the semester you'll find internships, paid and unpaid, even for the summer or over like winter break. So Goucher Recruit is a really good resource to use when you're looking for jobs.
Thank you. Excellent. When do we have to pay the bills? Okay, so a question about when will families have to pay all the fees and expenses? I think, Deja, you said you got that information? Or did you,
Oh, yes.
or was it Kayla that had that? Did you?
No.
Okay.
Basically, you all can contact the billing office through email, or you can give them a phone call, and they'll have a deadline for August 2nd for billing. So yeah, you guys can expect for an email from either your first year mentor, or you can contact the billing office as well.
And for families to know, if you have questions about payment, just reach out to billing. We have payment plans available for families. There's different options out there, and so if you've got questions, consult the billing office webpage. You're going to find a lot of great information there, and they're also available by phone and email also. So a question about traveling to campus and then traveling to Baltimore and getting to campus. If I travel by bus from New York, will there be anyone from the school able to pick me up? Or do I have to go there by myself? And talking about on August the 17th, we don't have transportation available necessarily that day for sure from Penn Station or wherever else the bus may be coming into. But so we do suggest Uber, Lyft. What I will say though is once the academic year gets started, students will learn about the College Town Shuttle, which does go through Penn Station at this time.
It just doesn't start up and running until the academic year for the College Town in Maryland, which isn't going to be until around the week of the 22nd or the following week when classes actually begin.
How does a student get from campus to the airport? Another similar transportation question. I think Uber and Lyft's pretty popular. You'll also find that's what I said. Friends.
Yeah, like
your friends will be going there.
Yeah, when you get on campus and you get adjusted and you start learning people, we have a Goucher app, and where a lot of students sometimes it's about transportation. Can anyone take me to the Greyhound, or can anyone take me to the airport? And people respond on there. And also just asking your RA. That's where your RA comes into play again. Your first year mentors, because they also have resources that they can seek out to try to help you to make sure you get to where you need to go. So definitely use those resources and you'll get there. Trust me, you'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
there. I've taken a couple of people to the airport myself. You will get where you need to go. Just make sure you ask.
And if there's no traffic, you can be there in 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it can be an hour.
Yep.
Or
But it'll be a
something.
good ride.
Baltimore traffic. Okay. Another question about job. Are there any paid jobs for students at Goucher? And I think we hit on that a bit already. On-campus jobs are, you do get paid for those.
Yes.
You're limited. It's 20 hours per week.
Yes.
So,
And if you get work study, then that's the thing here as well. As you guys have received your financial aid package, you see if you qualify for work study. So it's a lot of ways to get paid for jobs on campus.
So I have a question that I will definitely let you all answer. Please describe residence hall rooms, specifically what furniture and storage is provided. Do students typically bring extra storage bins, or do they bring a hanging canvas storage for closets? What are the tricks to make your room tidy? We're talking about this at my house, let me tell you. Yesterday, we even came over to Goucher to look at a residence hall room and just talk about things, and how the typical layout works. So why don't you all take that one, kind of describing, I guess, mainly in the first year village, what do the rooms look like?
Okay, so I was a first year mentor in residence last year, so I have a pretty good idea of what the rooms are. So you'll get 2 beds, one for you, one for your roommate. You'll get a dresser, you'll get a closet, it's like a little closet space. And I think that's all that comes with your room. You do get like this tab that you can stick thumbtacks in case you're worried about like decor and stuff. How can I hang things up? You do have a thumbtack tab that you'll be able to use. Command strips. Please don't stick anything in the wall. You will be billed for that at the end of the semester. Don't use any like tape or anything that could possibly pull the paint off the walls, because you will also be billed for that at the end of the semester. Your beds do rise, so you'll have a lot of space under it for storage if needed. And guess what else? In your closet, you have an upper part where you can place storage. You have a lower part where you can place storage. Some nice little spacious area. You have 4 drawers. They're stacked on top of each other. And I think, am I missing anything?
You said a desk.
Mm-hmm.
And the dresser, I don't know if you know this, they actually come apart.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
the coolest thing ever.
So if you wanted to, you can decorate your room any kind of way. You can stick them under your bed. You can leave them stacked on top of one another if you want more room. So it's a lot of different things that you can do with your room. And also you can go on YouTube and look up Goucher's tours of the dorm rooms, because we do have a couple of videos on there where we show you guys like a basic. So pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Very good description. Got another question about accessibility services. How does that office, and in some cases the Academic Center for Excellence, which we call ACE on campus, coordinate or interact when establishing accommodations? What are steps to get an accommodation in place, and how does the follow-up work there? So sometimes students will be working with ACE, the Academic Center for Excellence, and they will, it'll be determined that perhaps the student should check in with the Office of Accessibility Services. Again, I would go to their webpage, Accessibility Services, the process through which accommodations should be requested, all different types of accommodations. It's kind of broken down there, and you can submit things online. But you can upload them pretty much right to their site. And if you have questions about timeline follow-up, again, Arnell Hanley is the director. You'll find Arnell's information on the webpage there. So.
And also, if you're a student watching this, or if you're a parent, and if you know yourself as a student that you need accommodations, or a parent, you know that your child needs accommodations, please tell them to email their first year mentor and let their first year mentor know, because their first year mentor can put them in contact with Arnell, and also to make sure when they come to campus, we have everything in place to assure that they can be comfortable. So please let them know to let their first year mentor know that's what they're there for, to make sure the transition in college is as smooth as possible.
Question about our wonderful food on campus. When does the meal plan start? Is it when they move into the residence hall?
I believe so.
Yes.
Saturday, the 17th.
Now,
17th.
dinner.
Dinner. That's
dinner
for dinner
on Saturday. Now, earlier in the day, lunch, we will be serving lunch in Mary Fisher Dining. It's great stuff. That will not be covered on the meal plan, so you'll want to have cash, or you can pay with a card there, credit or debit card there if you'd like. But the plan actually starts Saturday at dinner time. So, and parents, you all will have left by then. So
that's a part of orientation. So you'll first years you'll be eating with your cohort that you meet with your first year mentor the first couple of days, and then after that you'll just roam off on your own and do your own thing, getting ready for the semester. But for the first couple of days, don't worry, you won't be like everywhere, or you'll be with your cohort. We'll show you all the dining hall, the stations. If you have like dietary restrictions and everything, we'll show you those spaces, and all that Goucher has to offer as far as foods. So don't worry too much.
how can a parent find their student's school mailing address now? And can they have packages mailed to that address ahead of time?
Yes, packages can be mailed ahead of time. You would just use Goucher College address to send packages and letters and things to the students.
1021 Delaney Valley Road, Baltimore, Maryland, 21214.
21204.
Thank
And
you.
if you go,
And make sure you put your child's name.
yeah, and once again, our campus post office they've got a great website as well. You'll find everything there. And you want to be sure you put your student's name of record with the college
Yes.
on their mail. There are processes through which, if there's another name by which they go once they get here, that they can have put into our systems, but you do want to be sure you're using their name of record with the college as far as how you address their packages and their mail. Next question is, can a non-music major play a piano on campus? Is there a music room or place to practice? Great question. I know there's a piano in the dining hall.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'll have lunch over there and someone's playing it, and it's like I'm at like a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah. There's also one in one of our dormitories that's called Welsh. There's a common space there, and it's nice. It's relaxing. His couches and everything. And there's a piano there. And is there still? I don't think the piano is in that other space anymore. But yes, there are places that you can still play the piano if you're not a music major.
So we've got, sometimes, we have a number of students, often student athletes, who are arriving on campus early. They'll be coming in August the 14th as early arrivals. Question about what's the process for move-in, and where are they going to get all their one cards and that stuff then?
So
What's that process like?
Michaela's an athlete.
Wow.
So I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, it's fine. So basically, you'll come in August 14th. Your coach should have kind of sent you an email explaining the process for move-in. So you'll arrive, you'll see your coach out front, and they'll give you your one card, and
you'll have teammates out front that will be there, and they'll basically be like your athletic mentors, and then they'll take you to the process. So they'll take you to our public safety office, which is the process of is combined of two offices, out this public safety and our residential office. So you'll go on one side and get your one card, and then you'll just shoot over to the next side and get your room key. And then your athletic mentor will take you to your dorm. They'll help you move in and everything, help you settle in, and then they'll walk you through the steps for the rest of your orientation as being an athlete. They'll have more information for you then.
So for the students arriving early, what about, are they going to have food? Will the meal plan start early?
For athletes,
Yeah.
You will be fed. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you will. You'll have that, and your coach will talk to you more about that, give you the times and everything.
Good. Question from a parent: once you leave your student on Saturday, can you pick them up after they finish or on the weekend? So unless you're talking about a commuting student who you're going to be bringing back and forth, each day. No, we don't. We definitely don't encourage that.
Yeah,
Correct?
no.
Yeah, no. So, it is, from my dean of students perspective, I can tell you that, um, these first few weeks and undoubtedly the first few days are really just so important, to really allow students the time and the space really to establish themselves and to begin making connections at the college. I'm someone who has been doing this a few years. I even teach at a local university about college students and their growth and learning and adjustment. And one of the biggest predictors of success is really their ability to connect those first few days and first few weeks. So, really giving them that time and space and support from a distance is what we strongly advise you to do, unless, like I said, it's a unique situation where they're dependent on you as a commuter for their transportation.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So thanks for that, and we hope everyone will really hear that and give your student the chance to make this adjustment. Do we know the dimensions for the desk in the residence hall rooms? We do not.
No, it's typical desk.
Yeah, it's a pretty typical size. I was looking at one yesterday.
It has one pull-out drawer here,
Yeah.
a small one, and then it has 3 desk drawers on
Yeah,
the side of it. So you have
So
that, and it's a light on it too.
Yeah, pretty standard size. So if you really need that information, you're welcome to call the residential life office or send them a message, and they'll do their best to get you some information there. So in the first year village, are there doors on the closets? I don't think there are there?
They're not.
Nope.
But you can buy a pull-down rod that doesn't harm the walls in any way, and you can just put your own little curtain thing, a little design if you want that to be a private space. But there aren't any doors on there. But there's ways to maneuver it to make it a private space.
So we've got a question about, is there a transportation system to get to and from Goucher? And this is from someone who lives, it looks like, in Germantown area. For those of you who are a little bit, who's local?
Me.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
local, yeah.
There's a bus.
Yeah, Uber, Lyft.
There's Uber, there's Lyft, and there's the bus.
Buses.
If you're asking like from Goucher, unfortunately there isn't one from Goucher. We don't have like a Goucher van or anything that will come and provide transportation. So we ask that students plan ahead of time, plan on using Lyft, Uber, or even a bus transportation if that's how you're gonna get here. So yeah, until the semester starts, and then there will be the shuttle won't go directly in that area, but it'll go closer into town where a Lyft or an Uber will be cheaper to get home if you're asking about commuting back home.
Is there a gym that's available to everyone on campus, to all students?
Yes, the gym is available to everyone on campus. Also, faculty use the gym as well, so it's available to everyone that attends Goucher College.
Can you still send in a picture for your one card?
Yes, please.
Soon, right?
Yes, very soon. And actually, we encourage you to, because sometimes it takes up so much time for you to have your picture taken during when you come in, when you're doing the moving process. So we ask you to send a picture because it'll make the time go so much faster and the process so much smoother. So please send in a picture. We really want you all to.
And it looks like, I think by the end of this week, is that deadline?
Yeah, by the end of this week, please send in your pictures.
Yeah, our public safety staff will appreciate that.
Yes.
How do you get your books? We got to have those books, right?
Yes. So this semester, Goucher actually switched over from the system that we were using last year, and I don't know the name from the top of my head. eBooks. Thank you. So then you just press it. It'll take you to the website. You just put in Goucher, and then you just look on your schedule and you plug in the information from your schedule into that website, and it will show you the pricing of your books, if they were new, ebook versions, if they're used, and then it'll calculate it for you. And this semester, with those books, instead of them being put in a locker, you'll just pick them up right from the front of the post office. So you'll just pick your textbooks up, you'll get an email letting you know when they arrive.
So a parent's asking if I'm in town, can I pick up my daughter to take her shopping or maybe out to eat? Unfortunately, we do ban all parents from campus. I'm joking. So,
For all 4 years.
no. I just joking with you folks, and of course, I'm feeling that myself, going through this experience too. Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, you want to let them get through those first couple of weeks, I would
Yes.
say. I think that's really important. But absolutely, I think that's one of the great pleasures of college is,
Uh-huh.
if you have parents or special guests or family friends come into town, absolutely. Again, we don't really ban you from campus. That was totally a joke.
You're
And,
right.
And I think, do you agree? I mean, isn't that that's a good thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parents are always invited. We just really know that like the transition into college can be very difficult, especially when you may have been very dependent on your your parent, and then you become an independent. So we really want students to be able to transition into that independency and being able to do things and cope on their own. But by all means, please still spend time with your child.
I will say, I always tell parents, I don't advise you to show up unannounced.
Yes.
Because students are really busy and they've got a lot going on, and that's just not a good idea.
I agree.
Don't show up unannounced. They're living independently now. They've got a lot going on. They've got schedules, and it's always good to just let them know when you're going to be coming onto the radar there. Yes,
I agree.
absolutely. How does someone become an RA? We were just talking about the roles of the resident assistants, the RAs. How does someone get to hold such an important position?
Yes, so basically for an RA position, there's a application process, and also with the application process, it comes with an interview. I think you will contact Wendy.
Lenny Bobbitt, which
Yes.
is the head of the RA program. Yeah.
And I believe they start advertising for those positions kind of the end of the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's due early in the second semester. Then they'll contact you from there with further information on the process.
Yeah, and the RA position, I think, is just so great as far as really a real learning experience and a leadership opportunity
Yes.
On campus. I was an RA.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
That
absolutely.
doesn't shock me.
Yeah. So, okay, is the insurance provided by the school a must, or can someone get it from other sources as well? I believe our policy is, we require that you have insurance.
Yes.
If you show us proof of insurance
Mhm.
outside the college, I know most of you may have your student covered on a family plan, and if we have to have proof of that. And I believe the billing office handles those inquiries and waivers.
You should receive an email, and in the email, it'll be a link, and you click on it, and then you'll put your insurance information. You'll receive an email within like 2 to 3 business days saying, hey, it's confirmed. If you do not opt out of Goucher, you're automatically enrolled in Goucher's insurance until you opt out of it, because it is mandatory that you have insurance. While being on campus, you have to opt out of it by September the 1st, or you will be charged for it on your bill. So remember to opt out of it when you receive that email. If you haven't received that email billing and let them know, hey, can you send me that link over so I can opt out of that.
How tall are the ceilings in the residence halls? And we got a little shout out. They like the curtain idea for the closet. So props to you for that one. So how tall are the ceilings? I mean, it's a pretty standard height on the first few floors.
Yeah.
I can tell you that on the top floor, if you're in the top floor of the cells, that would be the 4th floor, right? Then you've got a higher ceiling kind of on one end. But overall, I think we're talking probably 8-9 foot ceilings in most of them.
And if you're like concerned about like what should I purchase, or like the dimension of things you should purchase, also when you get here, we have a Target and a Walmart about 5 minutes down the road. So do not feel like you have to purchase everything and come here with it. Trust me, they will have everything that you need. I don't even buy like stuff if I need little odds and end things until about the week of classes. So they'll have it for you. So don't get overwhelmed with that, because there's a lot. We have Home Goods, we have a Bed Bath & Beyond right down the road. So
And if my families happen to watch tonight, I hope they heard that. Because I think we're trying to buy everything possible.
Especially if you're driving here. If you're driving here, you don't have to buy all that stuff in advance. Like,
and I know that some stores, and I won't get into specific advertisements tonight, but some stores, well, I know in particular Bed Bath & Beyond, so they can send me the check later on. But you can go online and essentially purchase your items, and you can pick them up at a store here.
yes.
So they'll have them ready for you.
Mhm.
So, okay. How often should I expect to communicate with my student? And should I set a plan for this? Wow, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a great question. I'll let you all answer that for sure.
Okay, so for me personally, I'm definitely family oriented. And me and my parents, we set a time frame that best works for my schedule. So probably like around 7:30, but I talk to my parents every day. So every student is different. Definitely if your student wants space, try to give them space to, figure things out on their own. But definitely I say set up a schedule.
Yeah, and we don't want to make you guys sad when we say like don't contact your students or anything. Every family is different. We're just asking that you give your students time to move in and time to adapt and everything. But by all means, we understand that families are close and that you want to speak to your child and everything. But we just ask, that you may have to loosen the rings a little bit and give them some space. But you guys can figure that out amongst one another. But communication is key. So I guess throughout the time of the semester, you guys will figure out what's best for you.
And I agree with that communication plan because sometimes when we don't have such a plan, maybe a parent is expecting to hear from a student more than they are, and then they don't, and then they call my office, and we send someone knocking on your student's door, perhaps, and so and students don't care for that. So let's set those plans up before you get here. It's a great idea. So what are the things that students must do before arriving on campus? And our guests kind of were hearing about things like, want to be sure you got the financial piece in place. We do have an immunization policy, right? And you want to be sure that you are getting things done. Students will not be able to move in without the immunization process completed or in process substantially. So if you have questions about that, you can check in with our student health center. Any other things that they need to really be sure they're taking care of, you think?
Goucher's page also offers what to bring and what not to bring list online. So that's definitely worth checking out before.
On the website. Which web page is that one? Is that the new
Res Life.
Res Life? Okay, Residential Life. Thank you. So, please.
Just like if a lot of you may not know, you do have a twin echelon bed. So when you're choosing your bed sheets, if you're living on campus, make sure you say TXL. Some people, I know one of my friends got like a king size sheet saying, it's going to be bigger, but the width of it won't fit. So you have to make sure it's TXL. Just
twin
like
XL,
yes.
TXL
Yes.
sheets. All right. Through financial aid, student opted to get an on-campus job, but they're having trouble uploading their resume. I think that career education office can help with that.
Definitely. You can contact them. You can go to Goucher College CEO or Goucher College Hub, and on there you'll find a bunch of email addresses for a bunch of people that work in those offices, so they can help you. So you can just email them, and they'll get right on it for you.
Someone wants to know, does a student need to bring their own vacuum? Someone wants to be sure they keep that room clean.
I know, right?
What are your thoughts?
You can definitely bring a vacuum. They also have the mini vacuums that you can buy instead of bringing a large one to campus. And you can also bring a broom.
Yeah, and a Swifter maybe. Just like a Swifter would be better because you have wooden floors. Your carpet is probably like an area carpet for when you step out in the morning, but for the majority part, you do have wooden floors. So it would be better to get like a Swifter or a broom.
Yeah, so the First Year Village, as they said, they're wooden floors. I'm glad you say they're wooden. It's actually a laminate. It looks like wood, but I'm glad that we have impressed you with that product. So, but it's a solid surface floor essentially, and so and some folks therefore like rugs and things too. So, all stuff that again you don't have to figure out right now. Students having trouble getting their physical completed by the deadline, what should they do? I would say in those cases, you want to check in with the Student Health Center, but I really encourage you to make every effort to get that done as soon as possible. If it can't be done, by a certain physician, check into are there other physicians in a practice or, who could possibly complete it. Is there another center where you can go to get that done? But we forms and everything, we are serious about that and need you to get as much of that done. It has to be done before you move in on campus. So, do students need cars to campus? Do they need to bring cars to campus? Do they need a car here?
It's not a need.
Yeah, it's not a need, but we recommend it. We also have the college
town shuttle. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways to get around in the Baltimore area without a car. You have the college town shuttle that takes you to different locations and stops in Baltimore City, as well as Uber and Lyft. It's not because having a car is a big responsibility, even like when it comes to insurance, or if you're like taking out a car payment and everything, and that's a lot. So it's not really mandatory unless you really, really want it, but it's not a requirement for students to have it or a big deal for students to have it. And a lot of times you'll meet like upperclassmen or something if you need like a ride or something to the Walmart, which is seriously, I'm not kidding, 5 minutes down the street or something. People will be open to take you there and things, and yeah.
Well, I think we're fortunate to be in a pretty walkable area.
Yeah. The mall is right across the street. It's like a 10-minute walk. We have a movies up the street. It's a lot around here.
Yeah. We're fortunate to be in the area we're in. Students having trouble getting in touch with their roommate. What should they do? Any thoughts on that?
I want to say with roommates, sometimes it is hard to get in touch with your roommate, and I guess the best solution is to kind of wait until moving day to actually meet them.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I know we provide that contact information, and you want to be sure to use that. I know you all have other ways to get in touch with each other too, through different outlets, and so I would encourage you to just be persistent about it. But regardless, you're going to meet on that first day for sure. So, someone wants to know, where can they get proof of admission to Goucher? Their health insurance is asking for that. I got it. So they can transfer the coverage. Any thoughts on how we would handle that?
I don't think you transfer the coverage. Like I said, contact billing, the registrar. They can download it from Admissions and Financial Aid Status Portal. So go there and
Perfect.
we'll walk you through it.
I knew you'd know that. Is there an orientation for families? I know I'm going to be going through one at my daughter's college, and I know we offer one here at Goucher. What do y'all want to say about that?
Yes, there's definitely an orientation for families. It's around the same time when your student arrives on move-in day, and you guys kind of split apart, and you'll have your family orientation, and your student will have their own personal orientation.
And then it all kind of wraps up with a convocation ceremony where students are separate, but you're all in the same location. And then there's a time on our schedule set aside for saying, see you later, as I say, right after that. And there's family weekend. Do you know the dates for that this year? I know it's October
6th.
Okay, great. October 6th?
4th through 6th.
4th through 6th. Got it. October 4th through 6th. We've got our backstage crew here tonight that they're working to keep us on task here, doing a phenomenal job. And so October 4th through 6th, family weekend. It's a great time. love to see families come to that. Laundry facilities. Do students need to pay for that? Is it busy? How does the whole laundry process work?
It's covered in your tuition.
Mhm.
You get $75 a semester on your card. $150 to wash, $150 to dry.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's about in the first year village. There's about 4 washers and 4 dryers. So you'll just swipe your one card on the little portal machine, press what washer you want, insert your laundry. There you go. Do not put Tide Pods in the pull out thing. You'll insert Tide Pods inside the washer because it will mess up the wash machine and it'll mess up your laundry. So you don't want to do that. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Some good advice there. Let me tell you. So essentially, you've got a set amount on your one
Yes,
card
every semester.
for laundry, and so you're just going to use that kind of like a
Yep.
debit card. And isn't there an app that you can download to that connects?
E-Studs.
E-Suds,
Yes,
and I think this is the best thing ever.
And it lets you know when your laundry is done and everything. And you want to make sure you just come on time because since there's only a limited amount of washers and dryers, there's a lot of people in your own dormitory. You want to make sure everyone has an opportunity.
So again, for parents, just walk up and down the stairs. Check. That's what we did. We have to walk up and down the stairs to the basement laundry room. Ours are not in the basement. And check on it, and now you can literally look on an app and see what's available. And I cannot imagine.
It's really cool.
So that's great. Makes me kind of jealous. Any other advice we want to offer to help families get through this transition time? Thoughts? I'll be glad to wrap it up, but why don't you all offer some wisdom on this?
I say the biggest thing is communication within the family. As long as you guys have communication, whether it's how the student is doing with classes or how they're transitioning to college, as long as there's communication, I feel like everything will be a smoother transition.
Don't stress so much. Don't feel as though everything has to be perfect right now. I know I did that. It's okay. It's okay to relax a little bit and wait to move in. Stay in contact with your first year mentors. If you have questions, email our offices here at Goucher. You can go on the Goucher webpage and type in any office that you need, and it will give you the information that you need to email them. But relax a little bit. It's okay. It's almost time, but it's okay to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going through a time of excitement and anticipation. With that anticipation, you get some nervousness, and I know in our own house we're talking about it, right now, as much as possible, and kind of owning how we're all handling it different ways at home right now. My wife deals with it by preparing every single thing that my daughter could possibly need in the event of any possible occurrence in life that might happen for her. My daughter is dealing with it differently, as am I. So we're all talking about how we're dealing with it, and I agree. I think communicate about it, but I'll go back to my biggest piece of advice, especially for families, is really to just understand this is a time of growth and development for your student, and for that growth and development to happen, you got to give them the space, figuratively and literally. For that to happen. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. This is a beautiful, great time in life, and let them really live it up and take full advantage of it. We are so grateful to all of you for joining us tonight. Kayla and Deja, I can't thank you all enough for taking some time out of a summer evening to be here. As always, you did a phenomenal job. And again, families, I will miss you when you're here for that first day at move-in, but I'll look forward to seeing you on family weekend. And I'm always available, email, phone, reach out if you have questions or concerns, and I'll be glad to connect you with the right people or do whatever I can to assist. And so I believe that wraps up our AMA for tonight. Again, thank you all again, and thank you all
Thank you all
for being with us.
Bye.
Take care. See you soon.